Hi, I'm Jennifer Rodriguez with Women of Worth. This is our first podcast, and I'm super excited because today I have a special guest. And so we are sponsored by Biosphere Diagnostics. And so thank you guys for being here today. And thank you, Lucy Adame-Clark, for being here.
Thank you, Jennifer. It's an honor to talk about women of worth because a lot of women doubt themselves, question their abilities to be successful. So when you said women of worth and that's what you were going to start, it was exciting for me because I'm the county clerk of Bexar County, the fourth largest county in the state of Texas. And sometimes we ourselves have to do self-checks as well because we're leading leadership positions from higher levels where people think we're robotic.
Yes.
They don't realize that we're human. So
Yes.
Thank you for doing this.
Yes, no, thank you. I'm super excited. If you guys don't know, Women of Worth was actually birthed maybe about 20 years ago when I was in ministry. I had a ministry where we had a drug rehabilitation home, and I really saw God's work in women's lives at that time and still see it today. And so I actually developed Women of Worth and then started to think about that. This is how I was going to do the podcast. And so it's been the Lord that's really been pressing in my heart to restart
Amen.
Women of Worth. And so I'm super excited because we have you here
Thank
and we're
you.
going to talk about a lot of things.
Well, I'm
And-
ready.
Yes. Okay.
Hey,
So we're super
You
excited.
got to be an open book, especially when you're a public official.
Yes.
People don't realize that you are an open book when you're walking around in the community and leading a county of our size. You're never hiding. You're
Yes.
a public figure, whether I go to the store or whether I go to a gym or whether I go to a Goodwill
Yes.
and whether I go to a boutique store.
Yes.
You're that person. Once you sign up for that,
Yes.
you're that person.
And I've run into a lot of people that have met you like for the first time
Mhm.
and even people that have known you for years, right? And everybody says the same thing, which is she's so down to earth,
Thank
and
you.
you're so approachable. And so thank you, because that's what we need. We need somebody that's going to come in to represent our city and be of approach,
Correct.
And so thank you very much. I know
welcome.
that you're up for reelection.
Yes.
And so we're excited about that. Tell us a little bit about first of how you started and what motivated you to become the county clerk of San Antonio.
That's a great question. So my mother, for sure, first God, for sure. God is why I'm here in this position and why I'm healthy and why I'm a mother of two beautiful children, a wife of my amazing husband. But my mother, for sure, she was a woman of worth, like you say it. She was a champion of our community, and she still is. And she's lucha. Ella lucha por la comunidad. And she took me everywhere at City Hall to speak about the teachers, about the sidewalks, about the resources, about special needs. And my mother was always guiding us through the process of teaching us the worth of our community. But I never knew it was because of this. So you wanting me to be one of your first of many for Women of Worth means a lot, because those suits that she bought me at the Goodwill, those suits that she bought me at the thrift store, and taking me to City Hall allowed me to understand government and the importance of advocating for the vulnerable community that are, they don't have a voice.
Yes.
But I started my career after working as a waitress at the Blanco Cafe. I worked there from 1991 to 2004, and it put me through school. I went to school for paralegal, and it taught me a lot to be a waitress, serving the homeless community.
Right.
Thank you to Mr. San Miguel, the owner of the Blanco Cafe. He passed away. He would serve the homeless, and I would feed the homeless before 7 a.m.
Wow.
And they didn't have to pay. But I never complained about serving them because they always say God comes in different formations.
Right.
So I don't know who I was serving.
Yes.
And they would leave me a dime or a penny, and I didn't care because they were the vulnerable community that I saw growing up. So when I was working there, I started my career at the sheriff's office in 1997 at the age of 24 after my paralegal studies. And I started as a clerk one. As a clerk one, now I'm the clerk of the whole county. And then I worked my way up, and I did civil and criminal that entailed the county clerk and district clerk responsibility. And then I did criminal evidence for criminal investigations, testified in high profile cases, human trafficking, murder, robberies, you name it. And we had to do chain of custody, have training from Texas DPS, FBI, TCO, Texas Commission of Law Enforcement. I have 29 years of very high profile training from chain of custody of evidence to how you store evidence in the
Wow.
county
Wow.
as well too. But what got me there is when I finally worked on a case of a 2-year-old little girl
Mm-hmm.
that got raped, and it took several years for her case to go to court.
Mm-hmm.
And that little girl doesn't even know, and I could never speak of her name, but her being the case that taught me the importance of not delaying justice through,
Right.
criminal justice information system is why I ran.
Right.
Right, everything behind me, of course, but then 4 months in office, we automated the criminal justice information system to make sure that the justice system was never delayed.
Mm.
So my upbringing has a lot to do with it. I come from the housing projects.
Mhm.
I come from housing, but it didn't hold me back because the Women of Worth was something that, and I'm glad that you're doing it, Jennifer, because you've been doing it for 20 years, and God gave you the power and the plan to make it come back again.
Right.
Because there's a lot of us,
Yes.
a lot of us that have thought about it, and we just never executed it.
Right.
And I did in 2018, and here I am.
No, and that's super exciting. I'm so glad that you said that when you served the homeless, they were coming into the restaurant, and that you just never know who you're serving. The Word of God says that when we do anything for the least of those, like the least of things, and we do it unto the Lord, God, he actually honors that. And so thank you
Amen.
for doing that. Because we never know, right? We never
Yeah.
know. Everybody has a story, first of all. Everybody has any of their experience. I always felt like in my life too, like everything that I've ever gone through in life, I knew that it was a stepping stone for the next thing. And also how the Lord was training me. There's a scripture in the Bible that talks about that he trains our fingers, for war. And part of that, I believe in my heart that it's a lot of like from experiences and our life experiences and why, how it can benefit other people.
Right.
And so I'm super excited about interviewing you because there's so much that we need to talk about. And one of the things is that you said that you were born and raised in San Antonio, Texas.
813 Colima, and the oldest Alasana Pacha courts, the oldest projects in San Antonio, actually the oldest projects in the nation, they think.
Wow.
And back in 1921, in the early 20s, the Mexican American community was flooded out of that area, and then they built the first housing projects there. So I was born in 1972 in the 813 Colima area, and it was it was a very hard upbringing.
Right.
And I'm glad that you're from the same area because you
Yes.
know what I'm talking about when I
Yes.
speak about that neighborhood.
Yes, and so my dad was actually born and raised in the west side of San Antonio. He's a graduate of Lanier and
And I'm from Lanier as well too.
yeah. And so he had a very rough upbringing. He shared a lot of stories about when he was growing up, being in small homes that didn't even have a floor, that
Correct.
that had a dirt floor. His mom left when I guess he was a small child, maybe 7 years old, left behind 9 kids, and and they, all my aunts and uncles.
And that was unheard of back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it's crazy because if you think about it, and I've talked to my dad about it, about mental health, and maybe that was something that we actually now that we're learning, right? And that was my grandmother, and she probably had a lot of issues for leaving and abandoning her kids.
And women couldn't speak about it back then.
No.
Women were very silent
Right.
back then.
And and that's funny that you say that, because I think that comes back to even what we feel today. We're going to get a little bit into health and wellness, because what we don't talk about is what we go through during menopause.
Oh yes.
So
Man, a pause.
and so we're in a place where I'm 50 years old, and so I've gone through different roller coasters of up and downs, and how I'm feeling, how I'm not feeling, feeling sad for some long periods of time to then feeling happy. And then it wasn't until I discovered peptides, because I'm also a Christian, so I wasn't wanting to take antidepressants, and not that there's anything wrong with that if your doctor prescribes that for you. For me, it was just part of my my convictions with the Lord, right? And so and also because I saw a lot of women and men come into our home that were drug addicts, that's how it started. Was
Okay.
through antidepressants. And so I didn't want to. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to take that. Well, I started studying and researching on a lot of peptides, and at Biosphere Diagnostics, that's what we offer. We offer weight loss program. We offer a way of transformation, because that's also part of our business, is transforming women and men.
But you also walk the journey with us.
Yes.
So it's not just transforming, it's not just
Yes.
an injection, because you really have taken me under your wing, like I take other people under my wing. And it's having conversations. So it's
Yes.
not just me coming to you for your biosphere injection. It's about you also educating me. I may know certain things, but I'm not an expert. I'm not a nurse, CNA, LVN, RN. So I rely a lot a lot on you all to give me some pointers on, it's not just a miracle shot, it's
Right.
also so much more.
Yeah, and so, like, you being a busy woman in business, right?
Mhm.
Because it's a lot to run the county.
Oh yeah.
Can you share with everybody, because I think everybody just has an idea that it's just Bexar County, but there's actual surrounding counties, right?
So there's so there's 254 counties in the state of Texas. There's 10 of us that actually are treasurers and county clerks. So what that means that they abolished the treasury position in those 10 counties, and the county clerk has the duties of the treasurer and the county clerk. And there's 26 municipalities and unincorporated county area in our jurisdiction. So we're the record keepers of the county, but we're not just pushing paperwork.
Right.
When COVID happened, it really allowed the public and government to respect a county clerk. They didn't realize how instrumental and how essential we are to the community and to government, because you're born with us, you die with us, you start a business with us, you get married with us, and then when you get sued under $250,000. That's the county clerk's office. When you have a person who has special needs or has some kind of mental breakdown or goes through some kind of disability, you become the guardian, right? And this is not legal advice, but I have a sister who's special needs.
Right.
And I would say God put me in this position because not only do I have the instrumental knowledge or the institutional knowledge, but I also have the life skill experience, because I have a sister who was born in 1973 who has a mentality of a 7-year-old. So when you say God gives you pathways,
Right.
now that I look at it, I know why I'm here as well too, because my sister has POA, power of attorney. You record that in the clerk's office. Any kind of guardianship, that's with the county clerk's probate office. Mental health, I've had to deal with that with my sister. That's a mental health department under my responsibility. So when I look back, I'm like, this is why. Because you knew that not only did I have the experience, but I have the passion, the compassion, and the understanding of why I'm in charge of the 4th largest county in the state of Texas, because I've walked it for 50 something years.
And not only that, but I actually met you through a networking group, and it was so amazing during that time period, because we got to meet a lot of people during that time, and there were women that were actually learning to build businesses or becoming an entrepreneur. And so you actually provide a service
Correct.
with the county that actually was birthed through COVID, right? Do you want to share like a
small?
smidget? Yes.
So as a county clerk, statutorily, we actually have the DBA, doing business as an assumed name, and the county clerks are responsible for it. And if you want to get an LLC, that's with the Secretary of State. That statute was changed in 2019. So during COVID, we built our records on the run. Actually, it was built before COVID. So that's how innovative we are.
Right.
So we built the records on the run in 2019 when I had just came into office. And then organizations in our community didn't know how to expand their services, or they lost their jobs. And there's a lot of prominent women that didn't know their ways of finding on how to start a business.
Right.
So us, the county clerk, went outside our scope and built relationships with organizations to help women in those pockets to get DBAs for $21 then, now it's $20, to build those relationships in those organizations so they didn't have to go downtown, and to break the barriers and to give them comfort.
Right.
But these women were self-made. They just needed an avenue in,
Right.
right?
Yeah,
and that's what we did.
And I think what happens a lot of times is, especially being an entrepreneur, you get kind of not discouraged, well, maybe a little discouraged when you have to go to the courthouse, park downtown. It's so nice that we can go online and look for records on the run, mobile,
Right.
and find a
And you
convenient
can do your
place.
application online.
Yes.
So
Oh,
before
wow,
I
really?
so before I came
Hmm.
in, you couldn't do your application for your marriage license, your
Hmm.
DBA. You couldn't do any of that. So we
Wow.
actually coming into office, not only that, we translated our whole website to
Yes.
51 multi languages.
Wow.
We added live chat for the hearing and impaired community so they can be able to communicate with our staff at the central location through 51 multi languages.
Wow.
So that was added in my administration because of the fact that I knew the adversity and I
Hmm.
knew the lack of opportunities. The only thing you cannot do is you cannot complete your DBA, but that's not because of us.
Hmm.
Statutorily, you cannot complete your DBA remotely yet. So hopefully, this next legislation coming in next year in 2027, they add the self-acknowledgement so you can dream it, do your application,
Hmm.
self-acknowledge it, and start your business.
Yes.
So it's not the
And how
county
much does
clerk.
that cost?
Only $20. So it's
$20.
$20
It,
to start your DBA doing
yes.
business as an assumed name.
And I'll just say, as an entrepreneur, $20 such a small price to pay to get your business started and to make your dream a reality.
Correct.
And so I'm super grateful, Lucy, that you came by this
Thank
morning.
you.
I know that we're kind of pressed on time a little bit, but we have so much more that we want to
Oh
talk about
yes.
and we want to share. So guys, stay tuned for a part 2 that we're gonna have. We're gonna continue the conversation with the Honorable Lucy Adame-Clark, the County Clerk for Bexar County. But also, Lucy, right before we leave, you're getting ready for re-election.
My runoff, you did say that
Yes.
earlier. So we got stuck in the runoff, and I'm glad you brought it up, Jennifer. This election was a very heartbreaking election because they're not after Lucy Adame-Clark. There's only a few individuals, very small, because we've done a lot of great things for our community. This election was so different because if you go back, and I want you to study your ballot, look at your ballot, every single non-Latino name lost this election. And we got stuck in the election. You lost a very prominent individual, and I'm going to say Judge Shaw. He's a very good juvenile district judge who was very well known, has his own story, and did a lot for this community. He's half Latino, half African American. I'm full Latina. I am the first woman, first Latina, first Native American to be elected as a county clerk since the creation of the Republic of Texas since 1836.
Wow.
But because our community calls me Adam, and the older community knows I'm Adame. So I won the mail-in ballots, I won the early voting. So that tells you a lot of my older traditional community knows that I'm Mexicana. But you shouldn't be voting just because I'm Mexicana.
Yeah.
You should be voting for experience.
Yes.
So the San Antonio original family, Castro family, actually the mother endorsed me because she said, you've done everything in this community for Bexar County, and there should be nobody in a runoff with you because you are Lucy Adame-Clark from San Antonio. So the early election, right now, your loved ones are voting by mail. So whether they're disabled, whether they're students outside of Bexar County, if they're active duty away from Bexar County, they can vote by mail. Contact your elections office for any mail-in ballots. And then early election is very important and very, very important and very imperative. May 18th, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So May 18th all the way through May 22nd, you can vote anywhere in Bexar County, anywhere in Bexar County. So I'm asking you and I'm pleading you. I am Lucy Adame-Clark. I am a Latina. I am your first. So let's get us back into our position. I don't have a general election.
Yes.
The Republicans didn't want to touch us. So that tells you something. They said, we don't want to run anybody against her.
Right.
So let's get this election out of the way. Let's get back to work. Let's get us back into office because we received local, state, national, and international awards as your county clerk in only 7 years.
Yes. No, and that's amazing. You've done so much for the community, so much for the county. We want to keep her in office. So
Thank you.
Thank you for being here with us today. I really appreciate it. Guys, stay tuned. We are going to have a second part with Lucy Adame-Clark, with also your health and wellness journey. And we want to talk about that. And so we're going to dive deeper in the next session. Stay tuned for part 2. And we will let you know when that next episode is going to be. We're also super excited. If you guys haven't heard, I'm asking women in the community, if you want to share your story, because everybody's got one, give us a call, 210-592-3124, or you can find me on Facebook. and request to be interviewed. I'd love to have you on our show. I'm super excited about what God's doing and where He's taking this platform. And so, thank you.
You're welcome. And you do want to hear the wellness journey, because I
Yes.
did go from 233 to
Yes.
153. So
Yes.
it's a big test. I mean, that's a big
Yes, it is.
testimony.
It is.
Yeah.
No, we're super excited. So, guys, thank you very much for being here. Thank you for joining me today on my very first comeback session of WOW. And so, if you're wondering, again, WOW stands for Women of Worth. And so, you're worth it. God says so. And so, just remember to put the Lord first, and everything else
Is laid
falls
out for
into
you.
place. Yes.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Bye.